And downward goes the spiral. Yeah, all right. It's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Welcome. My name is Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry, creator of Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog Blood Honey, my new comic book, is available. It's on its third day. I think there are 3 more days left of funding. So if you have not yet purchased your copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, you should do so soon. The link is in the description below. I'm the illustrator of Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and a great big Star Wars fan, even though I blame it for this. I blame it. Look at this. Mattel is laying off more than 2,200 workers after Toys R Us went bankrupt. Of course, it's just the downward spiral. This is what happens. Basically what happens is this. Rian Johnson makes a terrible Star Wars movie. Suddenly everyone in Mattel is unemployed. How did we get here? I don't know, but look at this. You won't be hearing the Toys R Us jingle anymore. And that went, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Too late. Grow up. Because of Rian Johnson, you have to grow up. Now, look, you can be a Target child. You can be spawn of Walmart. You can be scion of Kroger. But you can no longer be a Toys R Us kid. Toys R Us does not exist anymore. Does not exist. And, of course, we do. Again, we're going to find out why. We know why. We do know why. After a disastrous spring. The spring of Soylo, a Soy Wars story. Mattel said it would cut nearly a quarter of its staff and sell some of its factories. That's what happens. Get woke, go broke. Here we go. Mattel blamed the Toys R Us bankruptcy for the bulk of its problems. When the toy store mega chain stopped buying new toys, Mattel lost its most important conduit to customers. Why? Why did they stop? Well, I'll tell you why. Because, again, Disney bought Star Wars, and then Star Wars bought Kathleen Kennedy, and then Kathleen Kennedy bought Rian Johnson, who came in and made a movie called The Last Jedi. And The Last Jedi was a horrible train wreck of a film that betrayed fandom at large. All of us felt hurt, wounded. Yeah, we felt our souls were torn raw. Our hearts were torn asunder by Star Wars The Last Jedi. And so then what happens? Well, Toys R Us gets stuck with a lot of toys that they were forced to order. They can't sell. Those toys are rotting on shelves, literally decaying, like nothing I've ever seen before. There are toys that were still on the shelves of Toys R Us this year, just before Toys R Us finally closed its doors and gave up the ghost, to use a New Testament phrase. There are toys that were still on the shelves from 2014. Hadn't sold. Nobody wanted them. Why? Because Star Wars sucks. So then what happened? On this horrible, disastrous spring, Disney does it again. Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and Pablo Hidalgo, and all of them hit us again. I mean, uppercut this time. It was a left hook, then an uppercut. With Soylo, a Soy Wars story, a movie, and at this point, we weren't having it. Half of us ducked, half of us bobbed and weaved and got out of the way. Solo lost $80 million that we know of at the box office, and thus, Toys R Us, stuck with all of these Star Wars toys, cannot sell them, finally went out of business. Now, what happens when Toys R Us goes out of business? It's a domino effect. Do you understand? Now Mattel is going out of business. Isn't that great? Sales fell 11% between April and June. What's between April and June? May. What was May 19th? The day Solo came out. Right smack in the middle of June. Right smack in the middle of between April and June. Right there. Unreal. Revenue would have been close to flat, though still down if Toys R Us hadn't gone bankrupt, Mattel said. Bright spots were few. Barbie sales grew 12%. Barbie's good. Very little SJW in Barbie. There's some SJW in Barbie. They don't want Barbie to act like it dits anymore and say, math is hard. Math is hard, Barbie. High five. I don't like math. I'm terrible at math. When you pulled a string on Barbie's back and she said math is hard, SJWs thought that was sexist. Hell with that. Math is hard. Hot Wheels sales were up 21%. That's because Hot Wheels is for boys. How do you SJWize cars and trucks? You can't. I challenge SJWs to get in there and bring social justice to Hot Wheels. And what are you going to do? Make a bunch of little smart cars? You're going to make environmentally conscious Hot Wheels? You sons of bitch. Enchantimals and Jurassic World toys sold well. People like dinosaurs. I don't know what Enchantimals are, but they sound enchanting and animalistic at the same time. So that's about it. That's all that worked. Barbie, Hot Wheels, dinosaurs, and Enchantimals, whatever Enchantimals are. Those four things sold well. Non-SJW. Non-SJW. Okay? So there's a pattern here. Sales of cars, movie-themed toys, Fisher-Price, Thomas & Friends, and Toy Box toys were particularly awful last quarter. That's because people aren't having kids. That's why Fisher-Price. No, they're not. What do you think? All the dogs that you're adopting, all the dogs and cats that you're bringing into your filthy studio apartment, you think they want to play with Fisher-Price toys? No, of course they don't. Of course they don't. They want to pee on them. American Girl dolls sales tumbled 32%. Monster High and Mega toys stunk too. Literally stunk. They were sitting on the shelves the whole time. As if that wasn't bad enough, Mattel had to compete with higher materials costs as the price of oil and other commodities soared. Sales in China fell as the economy slowed. So Mattel's profit margin fell sharply from 41% to 30%. They're not talking about the elephant in the room. They're not bringing up the elephant in the room. To save money and refocus the company on what's working, Mattel said Wednesday that it's firing more than 2,200 employees. That's a lot of people out of work. 22% of its workforce. It said it would close all of its factories in Mexico. The vast majority of the layoffs are back office and support roles, the company said. On a conference call with analysts, Mattel CEO Ynon Kreiz said the company performed a comprehensive bottom-up review, bend over, to preserve the company's sales-generating and creative capabilities. He said he hopes the company can realign resources towards high-performing toys and improving online sales and developing better toy franchises for the future. Oh yeah? Well, hope in one hand and crap in the other one and see which one piles up first, Mattel. This is all the fault of Star Wars. All of it. All of it. And you won't admit it. You're still protecting them. You're still protecting Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson. Why? Why? Come to terms right now. Come to terms with the truth, with reality. We see a lot of opportunities, but there has been a big discrepancy between our financial performance over the last few years and where the company should be, Kreiz says. You know what, Mattel? Maybe you should try putting out Rainbow Brute toys. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think about trying out Cyberfrog? Mass merchandising Cyberfrog? Did you ever think about that? No, and that is why you fail. Yeah, that is why you fail. That's why you fail. My Yoda sucks. Let me work on that again. That is why you fail. No, it's still no good. My voice isn't that great right now. That's probably why. I could probably stand to glug a little bit of water. Maybe that would help I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to leave it up to your imaginations. You know, you heard Yoda in your heads when I did that. Kreiz was named chief executive in April. He took over for Margot Georgiadis, who held the top spot at the struggling toy maker for just over a year. The company has long been rumored to be a Hasbro takeover target. Hasbro is the much healthier of America's two leading toy brands. Well, we'll see about Hasbro. Hasbro, what are you going to do now, bro? Hey, bro. Hey, Hasbro. What are you going to do now, bro, when Toys R Us is no longer there for you to bully? For you to force your merchandise upon? What are you going to do? I see how this is happening. This is all very mafia-like. Hasbro. What's up, Hasbro? Hasbro is basically bullied by Star Wars. And then Hasbro has to lean on the little guy, Toys R Us, the little guy, Walmart, the little guy, Target, and force them to take their Rey and Finn and Rose Tico toys. Force them to take Tons, metric tons of rose Tico. Tons of Tico. Rows and rows of rose. Rows and rows of rose. Tons of Tico. And then what happens? Oh, we see what happens. Hasbro is healthy and fat. The little guy, Mattel. It used to be, you can tell it's Mattel. It's swell. Now it's, you can tell it's Mattel. It's a living hell. That's their new slogan. It's a living hell. Mattel stock fell by 9% in the after-hours trading. That's a kick in the balls, that last line. That's a kick right in the scrot. 9%. 9%. What are these 2,200 employees going to do? Can I recommend something? How about forming an army? An army of Trebuchet with me. How about joining my Trebuchet militia? How about joining up with my Trebuchet militia and flinging these people? We'll go in there. We'll go in there and we'll grab these people and we'll put them in trebuchets and fling them into the sky. What do you say? 2,200 of you. Join me. Join me. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. Hello, potential Indiegogo backers. Hello, friends. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book creator who worked for 20 years for Marvel and DC Comics on books like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, and X-Men. But before that, I had a comic book called Cyberfrog. Now, Cyberfrog lasted from 1993 to 1998, and then it stopped when I went to go work for DC Comics. Now I want to tell the story of where Cyberfrog has been for the last 20 years. I want to write, pencil, ink a book called Cyberfrog Blood Honey that tells the story of gigantic alien hornets that come to Earth and conquer it, sending Cyberfrog into deep hibernation, where he emerges now in the year 2018 into a completely alternate reality, a new world where these hornets have taken over, devastated humanity, using human skin to make gigantic wasp hives, and harvesting human blood to make honey to feed their young. Very few humans still exist. But it's up to Cyberfrog to save what's left of humanity and turn back the damage that's been done by these wasps with his brother Salamandroid and his friend Heather Swain. I want you to help me do this. We're going to get colors by Kyle Ritter. He's a fantastic colorist, and he's going to make this book sing. I'd like this to be a 48-page one-shot prestige format, part 1 of 4. So I'm asking you to help me launch the very first Cyberfrog Blood Honey epic graphic novel. Are you in? Will you help me? I hope so. Let's get this frog jumping again. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're gonna look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the Laughing Man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.